Welcome to Unity Inspired Living. Our community began in 1989 as a small worldwide Unity book study group, and we've continued the momentum as an ever-evolving spiritual community. Each Sunday, you will find dynamic thought leaders delivering inspiring messages and talented musicians sharing sound healing through their melody. Here, we embrace ancient spiritual traditions, universal truths, and emerging wisdom. Let's check out this Sunday message. We're so grateful you've joined us. Thank you for being here, everybody. Drop us a comment when you arrive into the live stream so that we can welcome your beautiful presence here with us. Welcome in, beloved souls. So grateful to gather here together this morning. Yay, yay. My name is Amy Vanling, and it brings me immense joy and deep gratitude to be here each week with you, sharing an inspired spiritual experience. And so grateful to be in loving service as the spiritual director here of this unique and powerful community. At Unity Inspired Living, you'll experience being uplifted by quite a blend of visionary thought leaders and gifted musicians who bring their souls, their soulful artistry, actually, and their healing vibrations and sounds and melodies to our Sunday gatherings. We're so grateful that we are here consciously tuning into the frequency of love, really amplifying the presence of love until it touches every parts of our lives and then outward into the world. So we know that love is always here. And our practice here is to center our awareness on its brilliance so that it expands within and radiates out into the world. So thank you for being on this journey with us, this mission with us. This month of March, our theme has been releasing resistance, and I have gotten a little chuckle every week so far because it seems like each week there's been things that show up in the morning that's like, oh, release that, let that go. And it gives us opportunity, to practice and really be steeped in our truth and walk our talk. And I just have to say, my daughter, you look absolutely beautiful. She's going down to the shower now. So thank you for bearing with not resisting anything that is going on my end this morning, which has been a lot. Resistance is really the mind's attempt, right? The intellect attempt to make sense and control what actually our heart and soul already know how to surrender. So it is in the stillness of just acceptance, right? That piece of acceptance that we discover that what we might have once resisted was just merely an invitation to expand into greater peace and love and possibility and awareness. So thank you for being on this journeying into this life's unfolding mystery with us here at Unity Inspired Living. We're so grateful. And I am so deeply grateful to dive into using resistance wisely today with our dear and beloved friend, remarkable human, divine soul, Christopher Brown. We are so blessed to have you here with us. And the message is using resistance wisely. And I love this. I can't wait to hear more. We're so blessed. We're so gifted by you. Christopher, thank you for saying yes to us. There will be a workshop today, and you can find that on our Zoom link, which is on our website, Unity Inspired Living, on the homepage. I'm also going to drop it here in the Facebook live stream chat feed, and you can get in there through our events page too on our Facebook page, on our main Facebook events. So join us. Everybody is welcome. We love the more the merrier. So thank you, Christopher, for sharing you with us today and your heart and sharing the workshop later. I know that it's going to be divine. And we have just in time the beautiful KALYANI Marsh, and she's gifting us with her musical inspiration or sound healing. KALYANI brings a sweet essence, sacred, soulful, healing energy to us. And we're
so grateful that you say yes and share your time and energy with us. And thank you. She was here and then out and then now in.
I have
So
internet. Okay. I did not have internet, but now I have internet. Just in the nick of time.
in the nick of time. Thank you. We are
Yes, thank you so
grateful.
much. I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy that you are here. We also have on our screen the exceptional, phenomenal powerhouse Patricia, and she really is. She is with us this morning, shining her radiant light and bringing her compassionate, thoughtful heart. And she will be sharing our inspirational reading, which she writes. That is her writing that she reads to us. And she has some community announcements for us and our prayer of abundance. So thank you, the three of you on the screen for holding the space this morning. And thank all of you who are tuning in with us for being here because we are co-creating this space together and it is beautiful. And as you enter in, I invite you to take that intentional inward breath of the spirit and truly know that you are the face of God. And we're here aligning with that magnificent power and presence. So notice what you can tune into in that state of attunement. So we are going to now attune into our mission statement. And I invite you to really feel into what this mission means, what we are saying. It's full, we're steeped in such richness, and we can all take a moment to allow it to penetrate us and embody what our mission is here together. We are here fostering love and wisdom, inspiring transformation, offering compassionate outreach, and embracing unity. So thank you for being on this mission with us. I'm going to hand the screen over to KALYANI for our opening song, our community song. And I invite you to sing along and get all the energy flowing through all your um, power points in your body, energy points. Thank you, my love.
Thank you. So I just wrote this recently as I was having a little edginess around having this tiny house and building, and how is this all going to happen? How is this going to work? And I just came across that phrase, all will be provided for at the right time. And so I said, well, I might as well create a chant for that. So that's the first part. And the second part is, I am confident. I am unlimited. And you can just sing that out, however it sounds. I know you probably won't be familiar with this song, but it does require a little bit of just commitment on that part. I am confident, unlimited. And second part, nothing, no one can bring me down. Okay. All will be provided for at the right time. All will be provided for. All will be provided for at the right time. All will be provided for. And I am confident, unlimited. Again, I am confident, unlimited, and nothing, no one can bring me down. Nothing, no one can bring me down. All will be provided for at the right time. All will be provided for. All will be provided for at the right time. All will be provided for. And I am confident, unlimited. I am confident, nothing, no one can bring me down. All will be provided for at the right time. All will be provided for. All will be provided for at the right time. All will be provided for. And I am confident.
Oh, wow. That was so beautiful.
Oh, good, good. Thank you.
Thank you, beloved. That was perfect. Perfect way to start us out. We're so grateful.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to hand the screen over to Pat. She has a lot of good stuff for us. Thank you, Pat.
Hi, thank you. And Kalyani, what a beautiful message. We are such powerful divine beings. Ooh, here's some announcements for today. Please join us for the workshop after this service with Christopher as we continue discussing using resistance wisely, beginning at 11:30 on Zoom. You may find the link on our homepage, unityinspiredliving.org. All are welcome. Love offering graciously accepted via PayPal, Zelle, or check. Thank you all who attended our celebratory third Saturday community circle and potluck at Luenda's home yesterday. We celebrated our eldest member, Don Eggleston, as he turns 98 tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. We love and cherish you, Don, and send along to you more birthday wishes for calm and active 2025. Interested in helping an in-person monthly healing night, which will begin later this spring? Contact Jan or Nancy. Do you have a little time during the month to connect with those in our community who would love a visit or phone call? We're looking for a team leader and members for our Compassionate Outreach Committee, so please consider this very gratifying opportunity for service and connection with those in our community. Please contact Nancy or Jan. And those are our announcements. And now, do we have another song or do we go right on to the inspirational reading?
Yes. Right into your reading.
Okay, here we go. Our theme for March is Release the Resistance. And these are some thoughts I had, and this is entitled, What is this resistance really about? For this inspirational reading, I asked, what is the deepest resistance we all have? What is the one resistance that all people are here to learn in their lifetimes, whether they know it or not? Some call it the hero's journey. The journey from the I, me, mine mentality to something more profound than just ourselves, seeing and having our being nestled in the love of divine order and divine timing. The gift in releasing this major self-centered resistance is a freedom of spirit and discovering your soul contract, why you decided to be born. So what does that look like to transform out of this I, me, mine ego Well, it's all about SNL. And I'm not talking about Saturday Night Live, although that's a fun way to think about it. So S stands for shadow. All that you would consider your shadow. There is no negative emotion that you are not. This is all about self-love. When you accept all, it allows you to be free of judgment of others because you see the oneness of that trait in yourself as well. N stands for negativity, resolution of all you would consider that has been negative in your past or currently. Negativity is just your opinion of something that is in reality whole, as symbolized by the yin yang. L stands for love, awareness that you are loved and supported by all you consider holy. The gift is we can lessen our desire to look to people for love and acceptance. The change is to not need from people, but to give to people. In what stage of this journey of resistance to love we find ourselves depends on one's karma from past lives and why we decided to incarnate. There's no judgment how far one is along the path. There's no judgment here. Everyone is exactly where they are meant to be in this resistance to love. SNL, shadow, negativity, and love. Our soul urges us to challenge our self-involvement comfort zone of I, me, and mine. Let's all expand in love and grow hand in hand. Thank you.
Wow, Pat, that was so powerful and creative and beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was amazing. We're grateful. Okay, I'm going to hand the screen over to Kalyani now. Thank you, beloved.
Oh,
I'm not sure why we can't hear you, sweetheart. You're not muted. Kalyani, can you hear us? What's going on?
uh-oh.
We can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I tried to, you can't actually hear this microphone. You're just hearing me through my computer. So I thought I would switch it to the microphone, but now you can hear me. So this is
Okay.
all for show. This is all for show. Okay. All right. So,
I didn't realize you were there. Okay, good.
huh?
We're good now because I wasn't sure what I knew you weren't muted, so I wasn't sure what was happening.
Hang on. Okay. So I wrote this song a while ago. It keeps evolving, and I Want Only This is the title now. Okay, go on. Gosh, so many technical issues today for me. Okay. But I want only this. This is it. Make it work. Can you hear the guitar? I want only this, and I no longer care what it takes. I submit to the mysterious force that is life, asking that I be transformed. I want only this, and I no longer care what it takes. I submit to the mysterious force that is life, asking that I be be transformed into the awareness of peace, into the presence of love, and let it flow. I want only peace, and I no longer care what it takes. Every time I set aside fear and see the world through the eyes of the one, I want only peace, and I no longer care what it takes. Every time I set aside fear and see the world through the eyes of the one, I am the awareness of peace. I am the presence of love, breathing love. I want only God, and I no longer care what it takes. When I surrender my defenses and my judgment upon how it all works, I want only God, and I no longer care what it takes. When I surrender my defenses and my judgment upon how it all works, I let creation flow through me. I let creation be. I am the presence of love. I am the awareness of peace. I want only this, and I no longer care what it takes. I submit to the mysterious force that is life, asking that I be transformed into the awareness of peace, into the presence of breathing love forever. I am love. Breathing, we make all things new. Breathing, we make all things new. We have come to make all things new. We have come to make all things new. I want only this.
Oh, yeah.
That was a little rough.
That was beautiful.
Dear.
Thank you.
That
We're
was a
grateful
journey.
for you. It was a journey. I
That
love
was a
that.
journey.
Yes, Christopher, that's a perfect description.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
exactly right.
And
Oh,
then
we're
I
so
had
grateful.
that idea. Behold, I make all things new. Behold, we make all things new. At the end, this time, where we're at, that we have the ability to make all things new. And
Yes.
then I realized, okay, that song is done now.
Mm, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm handing the screen back over to Pat. She has our prosperity blessing for us this morning. Thank you, Pat. And please go back to all the comments in the chat because there's so much love being poured in for the inspirational reading that you wrote and shared with us. Gratitude.
And thank you, Kalyani. I love the all I am statements in that song. Very powerful. Thank you. Oh, let's take a couple of deep breaths together after that. As I invite you now to join me as we move into a space of oneness with spirit. We quiet our minds and open to the great realization of an abundant universe. We connect with an inner stillness that is grounded in the divine flow of giving and receiving. We practice gratitude for all that life gives us and accept there is more coming our way. We align and operate from our divine nature to give freely from a compassionate heart to ourselves and others, assured we are never void. We set our intention to engage in right action that attracts opportunities to prosper. We are each a very grateful spirit, expanding in this human life. We are gratefully succeeding in stepping forward into greater good. And so it is.
Wow, Pat, thank you so much for the space that you have provided for us to lean into, feel into this morning. We're truly grateful. Okay, I'm coming back online here. Callie, I am handing the screen back over to you for final song, and you are muted right now. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to try again with this microphone. Do I sound different?
Working. It does
Okay.
sound clear.
This is the contrast. So are the levels okay, or is it too loud?
It's good.
Okay, great. I get to utilize this microphone. This is an older song. It's called Origin, and I just came across it recently. I thought, this might be appropriate. There's a section where you can sing along. Unconditional, unconditional love and acceptance. Unconditional, unconditional peace. This is where we come from. Let's see. What is my origin? Where do I come from? If I choose to remember, I never will be lost. I've traveled far and I've traveled wide, but I can never escape the truth of who I am, the truth inside my heart. Unconditional, unconditional, unconditional love and acceptance. Unconditional, unconditional peace. unconditional, unconditional love and acceptance. Unconditional, unconditional peace. This is where we come from. And from this origin, I find my compassion. Can I feel what I truly feel and let myself embrace it? 'Cause I've traveled hard and I've traveled rough. May I never forget the gifts that I've been given, the gifts that I can share. Unconditional, unconditional, unconditional love and acceptance. Unconditional, unconditional peace. Unconditional, unconditional love and acceptance. This is who we are. Unconditional, unconditional peace. This is where we come from. And we can never escape the truth of who we are. The truth inside our hearts. Unconditional, unconditional, unconditional love and acceptance. Unconditional, unconditional peace. Unconditional, unconditional love and acceptance. Unconditional, unconditional peace. This is where we come from. This is our origin. Love and acceptance. Unconditional acceptance of myself.
Beautiful. Thank you. And always the best reminder that this is where we come from, unconditional love and acceptance. Thank you, beloved. Thank you both.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for bringing us your precious souls this morning and light to our space. We're so grateful for you. Mwah. Blessings, blessings.
Blessings all.
Yay. Well, I get to read one of my favorite bios for this phenomenal. We'll see you on Zoom. Mwah. Bye, bye, sweethearts. Christopher, well, why is it not showing up? I'm getting it here on my screen. Thank you, Nancy, for sending this to me this morning because I have traveled to my daughter's house this morning. We're having a baby shower and I left this amazing bio at home and I love it. It's truly a favorite. Christopher Brown knows that we are all independent researchers trying to figure out the mysteries of life, part of our annual theme. His research has taught him to reject any wisdom that does not know how to cry, any philosophy which does not know laughter, and any greatness which is not humbled by the joy of children. So the best we can do is hold each other's hand as we walk the mysteries of life together. It just always makes me smile to read that bio. This is an amazing human we have in front of us, and we're so blessed that you're here to share. I'm going to pray us into our space and hand the screen over, and I'm inviting everybody to attune in, center in, ground ourselves in gratitude as we embrace the peace that comes with the peace and freedom that comes with releasing resistance. We surrender to the loving presence of spirit, knowing that we are always supported and guided. And together we celebrate our ability to trust and flow with divine order and know that unconditional love is our origin. As we step into a higher vibration, we bless Christopher, covering him in our love and our blessings, and we open our hearts to the divine wisdom that he is here to pour into us today. With deep appreciation and gratitude, we release this prayer into the infinite field of creation. And so it is. Ashe, Amen, Namaste. Thank you, beloved.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you for reading that bio again, as it reminds me of any greatness that isn't humbled by the joy and the laughter of children. It's like spreading joy and having fun are acts of resistance. They are resisting the status quo of seriousness. They're resisting just, the stuffiness and the seriousness of life. To have joy, to be abandoned in that way is as we get into the talk, this is very, very important. As Shakespeare said, there is nothing neither good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. And it's really only thinking that distinguishes between good and bad, or between resistance and surrender. It's not the circumstances. And this was pointed out to me at an Enlightenment conference 20 years ago, where Susan and I traveled to Santa Fe in the winter for this conference, big conference. It snows in New Mexico. It's 7,000 feet in Santa Fe. Expect to be cold. Well, in the lobby, and there was about 250 participants, there was this grumbling. There was resistance to the weather. Right. An Enlightenment conference, and you're whining about the weather, and there's snow outside, and it's terrible. And it's like, wow, that's what you're complaining about. Really. There's nothing you can do about it. What's the point? What is our resistance to life as it just happens? Why do we want to try to control everything? And it's about control. Resistance is really just like, I want it my way. I just want it my way. It's like there's that 15-year-old snarky girl that lives inside me and saying, I'm not going to do it. Nope, I am not going to do it. Whatever. I just, no. And you can't make me. I think we all have that snarky girl or snarky boy, whatever that is within us, that just loves to resist. But what I found out is if I invite that snarky girl or boy to actually engage in something, they lose interest in their snarkiness. It's like they become more present. When we drop into action, something happens. We regain our control and we stop resisting. So action is a key point in all of this. So at the conference, here they are, they're complaining. The participants are complaining about the weather. It's so terrible. And I'm thinking, is it the weather or is it their relationship to the weather? And so I went, I'm kind of enjoying the sun, the rain. I'm enjoying the snow. The cat's attacking the blinds right now. He's so cute. So is it the snow outside, or is it the relationship to the snow? I'm enjoying it. Susan's enjoying it. We're going to go out and walk in it. And it's actually snowing outside. This is great. We don't get to see snow. Other people are furious. They weren't told there was going to be snow. So the first bit of wisdom that I got was from the conference was, it's not the circumstances. It's my relationship. It's my reaction to the circumstances. How am I dealing with it? And what is my habit, my thoughts, my opinions about what's going on? Now, the snow outside is easy. Let's translate that over to what's happening with the government. How are your thoughts, opinions, and beliefs about what's happening with the new administration and the cruelty that's happening? The unconsciousness, the wickedness. And what happens when a friend calls you, like a friend this morning called me and said, my husband's dying. You know, I had to bring him to the hospital in the middle of the night and he doesn't want to live. What's happening there? Because there is a resistance. We don't want this to happen. We don't want our loved ones to die, to leave us. There's a lot of things that need to be resisting, that need to be helped, that need an action or some kind of remedy, whatever. So as I went into the first session at the conference, I met Isaac Shapiro. He was the speaker. And the first thing out of his mouth was, I don't give talks. I don't give lectures. I answer questions. If you have any questions or anything on your mind, ask it. If not, we'll just sit in silence. It doesn't matter to me. And somebody, bless their heart, raised their hand and said, why is there suffering? And he said, oh, well, that's easy. You're basically just resisting what's happening in the moment. Whatever thought or whatever experience you're having in the moment, you don't want to have that. And you're resisting it. And I went, wow. Okay. Let me see if it's like I heard something so profound, it went right over my head, but my body got it at a deep level. It's like I felt it to my core. I'm causing my own suffering because I don't want to have the experience I'm having right now. Okay, well, let's translate that back to the people in the lobby. They don't want to have the experience of snow. And they're not even having the experience of snow. They're whining about being in the lobby. So it's not really experiencing, they're experiencing their thoughts about snow. This resistance is really about resisting our thoughts and being terrified by our thoughts. So when my friend called me this morning and she's saying her husband's dying, and it really could be this time. He's been in and out of the hospital for the last couple of years. So I asked her, what's the biggest fear? Oh, and then she started to go into, well, I'll be abandoned. There's trauma. I feel alone. I feel helpless. I'm out of control. I don't know what to do. And I said, yes, all of that's true. You're in the unknown right now, and you don't like the way it feels. She says, yes, that's exactly it. I don't know. And it feels like free fall. And I'm resisting feeling this. And I said, yeah. Go ahead and resist it. Is it helping? She says, no, I feel terrible. And I said, yeah, I get it. I get it. This is about control. It's always about control. What if you were just to let it be? Go ahead and resist it. And stop resisting your resistance to it. Just let it be. You know, you're a mess. You're falling apart. Fall apart. Really fall apart. All the way down. All the way down. She says, I can't. I've got to be there for him. Yeah, but is he in this room right now with you? No, I'm home right now. He's in the hospital. They said, okay, well, then fall apart now. And when you see him in the hospital, it'll be different. See, there's timing involved with resistance. You can't resist 24 hours a day. There's times when the thoughts are there and you resist the thoughts or you resist what's going on. And there's times when it's not there. And those are the times when you can relax. And there's times to resist. There's a season for all of this. You know, there's the expression that you don't iron a shirt when the iron is cold. When the iron is hot, you iron the shirt. That's the timing. There's also timing for resistance. If you use it wisely, there's time to resist. There's times to resist what's happening with the administration. There are lots of things we can do and are doing. But to resist 24 hours a day is not a wise use of it. That's like burning fossil fuel and trying to deal with anger. Anger is a fossil fuel. It burns hot and you eventually run out and you have to refill the tank. Thankfully, we run out. And when we run out, we take a break and go, what the heck was I doing? Maybe there's a more sustainable energy. And that energy might be, to let it be, to accept it, not to keep fighting with it. Because fighting is exhausting. What if you were just to put your sword down? What happens to the other side? Oh, I'm the other side also. I'm the one that's causing the mischief. I'm the one that's fighting. I'm the one that's causing my resistance by not wanting to see what's going on, by not wanting reality the way it's showing up. And we say, well, of course I don't want it to be this way. Yeah, but it is. When it's raining outside, it's raining. Get over it. Move on. But I don't want to move on. I want to complain about the rain. Well, okay, then complain about the rain. Sweetheart, but it's still going to rain. All of this stuff is going to happen whether you like it or not. But when you become present in this moment, dropping into this moment, what's true and alive in this moment, and if you're quiet enough, you'll start to feel your heartbeat. You'll recognize your blood in circulation, your chest rising and falling. And when your thoughts stop for just a moment, you realize that there are no problems in this immediate moment. Of course, the mind's going to start thinking again. Have you ever tried to stop your mind from thinking? I know you have in meditation. We're going to clear our minds. We're going to stop thinking. Well, maybe you have and you're successful at it. I've been trying that for 50 years. Hasn't worked yet. But I do recognize that I don't have to feed the thoughts that arise. Thoughts will arise all by themselves. And it's whether I feed them or not, whether they get traction or whether they start to cause mischief. And so, if we're going to use resistance wisely, when thoughts occur, and they will occur, there's no stopping them. That's part of its job of the mind, is to keep us safe and alive and to get our needs met. That's what this mind is for. So of course it's going to continuously want your attention so that you can survive. But if we use it wisely, what if we were to say, start editing our thoughts a little better? You know, most of us are not very good editors with our own thinking. We believe our thoughts. Oftentimes the thoughts are just random, out of nowhere. What's that? Why is that thought coming up? We don't have to give it attention. We can say, thank you for sharing, next, and then wait for the next thought. And as soon as you start to question the mind, the thoughts start to get quiet. When you say, thoughts, really, what are you trying to tell me? All of a sudden, the mind tends to get very quiet. And if we listen below the surface, you will hear something very quiet below the surface. And so, if we want to go to the core, to the real core of resistance, there'll be these layers of thoughts trying to help. But below that, there'll be a message. There'll be a very quiet message. And our job really is to go below the surface waves of resistance and action and activity and all of that. What's the real message below? Because that is what resistance, in a way, is pointing us to. Without resistance in our lives, we roll off the cliff. We're not able to stop the car at the time, and we go too fast into a corner, and boom, off over the side we go. So it's really good to be able to pump the brakes when necessary. Resistance is important. But when there are no curves, when it's straight, it's the straight road and you're in the middle of the desert and there's nothing to hit, maybe you can relax a little bit and look below. What is really going on? Why does resistance come up? We're going to look at that in the workshop. What is this resistance that automatically comes up? Maybe it's our friend. Maybe our friend is trying to get our attention, but it's doing it in a very clumsy way. Now, I've been working over at my friend's Paul's house, and his husband just died. And he's a mess, and he needs help. And so I'm over there. He's selling his house, and I'm tearing apart his bathroom and his laundry room, rerouting plumbing and under sinks, the house is in a disaster area. There's nowhere to work, and I'm stepping over everything, and I'm whining and I'm complaining, and I'm in resistance because I love the guy and I want to help, but it's too damn hard to do it because his house is a mess and his mind's a mess, and I'm not. And I'm hearing myself, and I'm saying, well, tomorrow I'm going to be giving a talk on resistance, and here I am in the middle of my own resistance. What's behind this? What's the message here? What's the thought that's driving all this? And I stopped. And it's really important to stop when you find yourself in resistance. And I listened, and it came up immediately. It shouldn't be this hard. That was the thought. It shouldn't be this difficult. And I went, wow. Where did you make that one up? How do you know it shouldn't be this difficult? Apparently it is this difficult. Get over it, move on. I went, okay. And so I was kind to myself, and I said, yeah, this is really hard. You know, what you thought you were going to do in a week is probably going to take 2 weeks and maybe more. So what's the very first obvious step? Well, I have to make a space in all of this clutter. I've got to move stuff so I can find a place to cut wood, where I can put out my tools, where I can get organized so I can start this project. And so I was still kind of in a bad mood. And that bit about the timing, when the iron is hot, it's time to iron your shirt or your dress. And I'm looking at it, I'm going, no, I'm not feeling it right now. What I need is I need to go take lunch. And so I went out to lunch. And when I came back, I was in a different mood. Another point to consider, when you're in resistance and you're in a bad mood or low blood sugar or you're having not a good day, resistance is going to be much stronger. You'll want to snap at your loved ones. You'll be that 15-year-old girl or boy inside being really snarky. You'll not only be snarky with other people, but you'll be snarky with yourself. So timing is everything. And I was smart enough this time to take a break, to actually go out to lunch, to put a gap in. So I came back with less resistance, because resistance isn't on all the time. It comes and goes. It's like you don't put your foot on the brake all the time. It's just to stop or to get to that point, then you let your foot off the brake. Resistance is not good or bad. It's important. But knowing when to apply the brakes and when to lift is critical, very critical. Now, when there's something that you don't want to do in your life, that's like, I need to clear out my garage. I need to make amends with a friend that I have had a fallout with, that there's bad blood between us. I need to clean that up. And think of the things that in your life that you may have resistance to resolving or to completing or to moving on from. When I was working in the auto shop, worked in a shop where we were building race cars. And these race cars, most of the time, didn't have engines in them, so you had to push them around the shop. Some of them were light, were easy to push, but some of them were heavy. And what I found is when you start to push by yourself a heavy car, it takes a lot of effort to get it going. So you actually get it rolling. There is kind of you got to build momentum. The tires are kind of stuck to the pavement. You've got to really give it a go. But once it starts to roll, you've got momentum. And then it's easy to push it. And that's the same thing with resistance. It takes effort to start that first step. But no, if you take the first step, it gets much easier. Case in point, the first step for me in Paul's job was to go to lunch. That was the first step. It was recognizing, oh, there's something about going to lunch, rebooting, knowing that I'll come back in a different mood. That was the first step. The next step in moving that car forward would be to clear a space for my tools. And you can see that step by step by step, we can eat that elephant, one bite at a time. But when you start to take on the whole project all at once, we go straight into resistance. But when you break it down into little steps, it's easy. It's always easy. Now, why does that happen? The mind jumps into the future. We're not present. We're locked into a future reality completely constructed of our mental thinking. We are out of our bodies and into our minds. If we return to our bodies, the bodies know what to do. The mind is there to keep us agitated and going and to watch what's going on. But the body has a wisdom. The body knows how to breathe when we're asleep. The body knows how to take care of itself, regardless of what they're thinking. In fact, most of the time when we try to help, oftentimes we hurt. We try to make things better, and we actually do things that are counter to that. So the most important thing is when we're looking at resistance is what are the baby steps? What are the very first steps? And to take them, to actually take them. If you think of a roller coaster, we go on roller coasters because we like to be terrified and exhilarated. And the roller coaster that comes to mind is the one in Santa Cruz called the Big Dipper. And that thing is an old wood roller coaster, and I'm always afraid it's going to fall apart and I'm going to fly off the edge, but I do it anyway. And at the very beginning, if I had brakes, it starts with this free fall straight down, and as my stomach goes, whoa, every single time. And I know we're going to go too fast and we're going to crash. All my resistance comes up. And if I had a brake, I would be pulling the brake like crazy. But if I did, I wouldn't continue through the rest of the journey. And that's the important piece. We've got to recognize that sometimes we overbrake and we overreact, and that we won't get the benefit if we stop and don't move forward. So if we resist too much, we don't move forward. We get stuck. So there's that modulation of the brakes. There's that modulation of resistance. How do you move forward without too much resistance or without not enough resistance? It's modulating the brakes. And again, control is always the issue, always the issue. And of course, you want life to show up the way you want it to show up. But that's not how we grow. We grow when we start to accept reality as it comes. And that's a big piece of work. It's a really big piece of work. My friend's going to have to accept that her husband may in fact be dying, and he may not last the next couple of days. And it's up to her. She doesn't have to accept it. She can live in resistance. But there'll be a point somewhere where acceptance will finally hit for all of us. We'll all lose loved ones. It's just a matter of how long we want to resist before we let go. How long do we want to hold on to something before it gets so painful that we simply let go? And that's really, we have to ask that anytime we discover resistance. How long do I want to hold on to this? It's fine to hold on to it. I give you total permission to. There's nothing spiritual about holding on to it or letting it go. Both are okay. The spiritual part is the lesson that we learn from what is happening. Sometimes we need to hold on a long time to get the lesson. Other times we can see the lesson quickly. The key here is because when we are in resistance, we're giving our power away. We're giving our power to the circumstance. We're saying, here, take my power. To pull your power back is by actually taking action, that first little step. And you know how empowering it is. When I went to lunch and said, okay, I'm going to come back in a better mood, that was amazingly empowering. I know I can do this. I stopped resisting. I know it's a mess. It's going to take 2 weeks to do this job, not 1 week. So I don't know what, there's no easy way to wrap this talk up other than you're going to find your way. And that hopefully hearing this is that it's like not resisting resistance. It's just like being at ease with all of this, with all of life the way it shows up. Sometimes it's a bitch, and sometimes it's glorious, and everything in between. And if you're to really ask yourself, would you want it any other way? That's a tough one, and I won't answer that for you. But it's a roller coaster ride. So I leave you with this we're just going to go into like an affirmation here. And I guess the affirmation would be, today I vow to stop resisting my resistance and to fully accept life the way it is offered to me. I'm including all circumstances as they come and they go, knowing that I am the only one judging them, and I have the power to change that judgment. I trust life as a partner and a friend, vowing to do better and to spread joy and to have fun. And so it is.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack. So thankfully we have the workshop because that's where some of this unpacking is going to happen. I really appreciate and also am so much embracing and loving that so far all of the talks on releasing resistance talk about, you've said it, I've said it, Verona has said it, not resisting the resistance. And I appreciate that so much because I think that speaks to I don't want to make this sound like a hierarchy, but it speaks to where we are consciously. And, you know, we could be in a place where we're saying, now just drop that resistance and, you know, just fight it almost, right? And we're beyond that. We're understanding. We're in a space where we deeply understand and connect with the fact that what we resist persists, right? So we are leaning into the resistance rather than trying to, you know, get rid of it, shove it away. And then in that is where that alchemy of acceptance happens. And so thank you, Christopher. You said so much today. Thank you, Carol, also for all of the amazing notes that you take for us. If anybody wants a recap, just scroll through the comments and you will see everything. Carol says, today I vow, oh, this was the affirmation too. Today I vow to stop resisting resistance. Beautiful. I was not able to type the full affirmation from you. I need to listen to it again. I want to write it down. Yeah, it was a great affirmation. It was about something about fully accepting life as, I love this part, as your partner and friend. What a lens to view everything through that that shows up on your path, right? Okay, if life has my back, life is my friend and my partner, that changes everything in your approach. So that's huge. Thank you for sharing that insight, that perspective with us. Kathy's here. Kathy says, Christopher, can you send that affirmation to Amy? Yes, we'll do that. I love the idea of not resisting the resistance. Yes, I know grief works like that. And it makes sense that the situation we find ourselves in now works the same way. And Carol says, life as my partner and friend. Yeah, I know that was said. I didn't write it down, but I heard that. Sonia says, W-O-W. Wow. That's a significant wow when you're stacking the letters. Thank you, everybody, for participating with us this morning, being here, holding space. Thank you, Carol, for all of your notes. I'm truly grateful. So we are going to go into the workshop. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to go hydrate and nourish. And the workshop is going to be diving into, why is there resistance? How is resistance useful in your life? How is resistance detrimental in your life? How to tell between resistance that is beneficial and resistance that is harmful? And what is it that you truly want? How is resistance preventing you from having that thing you truly want? So this is going to be a dive, and I trust that Christopher is holding us so steadily through this. Luminda says, wow, resistance is mental. Sometimes it is triggered by fear, which is usually false impressions appearing real. Thank you, Christopher, for your profound words. Nancy says yes. Thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah, when we start thinking about resistance really being in the mind, trying to control and the intellect, somehow, I don't know, that insight helps me anyway to know, oh, there's my mind trying to be the king of the castle. So Dan says, yes, I also would love the full affirmation and to use it daily. Thank you, Christopher. Yeah, so if you're in the workshop, I'm sure Christopher can repeat that. And if you're not in the workshop, email me and I'll get the affirmation from Christopher and I'll email it to you. So email me, Amy Vanling at unityinspiredliving.org. So we are going to close with our prayer of divine awakening. I invite you all, if you feel refreshed, restored, had a great insight, remembering and opening of your heart, your soul today, please consider visiting our giving page on our website, unityinspiredliving.org. We invite you to share in this energetic exchange with us. We are so grateful. All of your donations and contributions make it possible for us to continue sharing, giving from our hearts, and we are so grateful for the support. So thank you, thank you. I'm going to share my screen, and then everybody's going to go hydrate, nourish, and come back to the Zoom link, to the Zoom room to take a deep dive. I've dropped the Zoom link in the Facebook live stream chat. It's also on our website, on our homepage, unityinspiredliving.org. It's also in under Facebook events. I think I'm going to drop it a second time too, so it'll be two places in our feed, so somewhere you'll see it. I am going to share the screen with you right this moment, and we are going to close with the prayer of divine awakening. And I invite you to inhale and make this prayer yours. It's a new day, a beautiful day, a new beginning. I embrace this day with new eyes, an open heart, and expansive mind. I choose my vibrational frequency deliberately and consciously, harmonizing with life's events. I am receptive to source energy, divine guidance, and wisdom available to me at all times. I commit to serve unconditional love fully and completely. I move forward in a state of appreciation, an extension of the one magnificent power and presence. I am sovereign, whole, and free, claiming dominion over my life as I go in peace and awaken to my divinity. And so it is. Shine on, bright beings of love. Thank you for being with us this morning. Thank you, Christopher, for all the heart and soul and wisdom and insight and new perspectives that you enlighten us with. We are so deeply grateful. We will see you in the workshop in, let's say, about 11 minutes. Mwah! Blessings, everybody. Thank you, Christopher. So grateful.